Good evening, Super Robot Wars fans. I didn't leave enough space left for me to bring all the units I wanted to. My name is Austin, and thank you for joining me today. I hope you are all having a pretty good day. Let's take a look at this scenario. So, actually, sorry, we are jumping into scenario number 32. I maybe should start saying this at the top of the show. This is scenario number 32. So we're getting pretty close to the end of the game. So let's take a look at what we're working with here. We have a whole mess of Nadeshiko enemies showing up here. We haven't seen them in a bit, but we also didn't take the Nadeshiko path, so makes sense why we haven't. And the Frost Brothers have arrived again, just in case we missed them. We haven't seen them in so long. Albeit, again, if we took the Nadeshiko path, we haven't seen them in a bit. We've also finally reached the point where they have the propellant tanks like I thought they were going to. It took a minute. For as often as they show up, I really remember this being a more common part of their kit, but that's fine. We can't run them out of energy this time. We do have another portion of the scenario later, but again, we'll get there when we get there. We have a lot more. We've got a lot more like bosses and mini bosses. Oh no, we didn't even see them. They were on a different route than we took before. So yeah, we'll take a look at them new when we get there. And that will be once we clear the map. What else? We are without the Excellence right now. As promised, we were going to get an upgrade to the Excellence this scenario, so we're going to start without her. We do start with the Daitarn for some reason. This is maybe on me for skipping the story, but like these are not Daitarn enemies. I'm surprised they don't make you use the Black Serena, seeing as we just got it. And the Black Serena is Akito's unit from Nadeshiko. And these are all Nadeshiko enemies. I feel like it would make more sense if he was there, but he's not. But the trouble we're running into is now we just like don't have enough spaces to take everything. Because we got force deployed with Banjo, that ate up one of the slots that I had been accounting for. But I do want to show off the Master Gundam a little bit more. I don't fully know what to do with him yet. I don't know if he probably won't stay much beyond this scenario, but I do want to use him at least one more time. As I've said before, he and Domon are sort of competing for space. We're already using 2 units, the God Gundam and Fuunsaiki, in 1 unit spot. Like, the God Gundam has been serving us pretty well, but like one of the other reasons why I can't rate it so highly is it's doing that well, but it's taking up 2 deploy slots for that. So to take up like 3 deploy spots for like a unit and a half kind of by aggregate all around them is just so rough. It's so hard to justify. So I don't know how much more we're gonna see him, but I figured I wanted to show him off if we're gonna do like the G Gundam kind of plan. But what probably should have happened was I picked either G or Wing, and then we picked both. So whoops. What else can we say? I think that's it. I think we're just gonna try and move forward and set up like we did last time. So we do still have Rain here. I think she's gonna be the hardest to move. So setting up around. Oh no, the Rock Loom is. So we can put Rain to the north of Catra and the Rock Loom to the east of Catra. Not that we want to set up around Catra in particular, but that's just a good right angle that we can, or a good like diagonal. We can make 2 right angles. And then Fuunsaiki's got enough move. I thought he... My mistake. I thought we had enough, but do we have enough with Excel? We can Excel once. This is maybe a slight waste, but it's fine. We do want Hero to get it. We want... Who else is in need of it? The G Gundam boys, if they can help it. We can get them in position next turn. The Getter needs to. The Combattler needs to. The Voltace needs to. Daitarn doesn't. The Master Gundam technically does, but we're not going to worry about his. I do think we're going to move Catra out of the way of the diagonal so that we can get someone else in here. I do think he still wants to take advantage of it, but I think putting one of the Voltes or the Combattler in here is probably our best bet. And then we can put Twin Psyche at diagonal from Rain. That means we can put Domon here. So he's getting 2 bursts of it. One of the two of Voltes or Combattler can be in the middle to get 3 instances of it. That leaves us with this north spot open still. And that can go to either Duo or Zex. I think I'm tempted to give it to Duo. I have better parts on him right now, and Zex has proven that he can perform still pretty well without really much of any support. Has Yuriko gained anything else in the meantime? No, Yuriko did not gain enough levels from being away from us that she got her 6th spirit, and I can't remember what it is. There's so many flippin' characters in this game, I can't remember what spirits they all get. Actually, before I forget, we're just gonna ruin the recording a little bit. We're gonna make a save state right here. Now that we have the Nadeshiko back and we are fighting against enemies that have now that we have enemies that are using the distortion field, I do want to save here so I can make another notes and bolts about distortion field and why it's absorbing damage sometimes, and we can also take a look at potential then. I think there was something else I said I was going to look at in the last nuts and bolts. I don't remember what it is. Hopefully it'll come back to me. Okay. We need the God Gundam to move here. We need I guess the Voltes will move to the side, and the Combattler will move to the middle. That is a bit unfortunate. He does need 5 more. He can get it from Hot Kill. I think we're all good in terms of positioning. I don't think I messed anything up, but we'll find out. Enemies are close enough, though, that we can immediately start taking action. Maybe that's what the point was. Maybe the point of having all that, like, setup time is just to, like, give people, like, more time to plan, I guess. Like, make them feel comfortable with their positioning if they, like, mess something up. But I feel like that's only kind of half an answer. You can have good positioning to start, but the context of where things move really matters when trying to take that into account. So I'd much rather just see what I'm working with and be in the middle of it, and then plan in the middle of it, than have like 2 or 3 turns to set up a wall. But that could just be me. I accept that could just be me. Alright, what's our SP looking like now? Okay, Rain is at the point where she can use a bullseye if necessary. We do want 4 more levels to get access to a dedication. That's the one that really matters. Like, we don't really care about bullseye with her. And getting anything above dedication is either silly, or we would want, like, maybe Valor, but she's probably not going to be a target, so I would still qualify that as silly. But it would be silly to spend time to get the Valor, but it would be a silly amount of grinding to get access to one of their 70s again. But you could, if you really wanted to use her, you could theoretically get her up to getting 3 rouses a turn, or a stage. Scenario. We know our nouns here. But yeah, every level is 2 SP, so we are unfortunately, she's at an odd number. So we're gonna need to get 1 more level to get past that. So what did I say? That's 4 levels. She's 45. We don't know yet because we haven't attacked them. I feel pretty confident that we can do that now based on what we showed from the last stage. She only fought like 2 enemies and got that much XP. So we'll start with Hero and see what he can show us. What he can show us is that the distortion field is not that strong when you have real high damage. Okay. They are level 49, so if we can get Rain in there. She's got how much moves? 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This might be. We may have already established a kill for her. As far as parts are concerned, I moved everything around. Again, let me know if seeing that will be of interest to people. I can do that in the next playthrough. I did prioritize the Apogee motors onto Catra. I wanted to give him some amount of avoid, but I wanted to put the Apogee motors on him because having extra movement on a unit that we want to be, like, he has leadership, and a lot of times the units with leadership tend to be units that we're not being very aggressive with, so having a unit that has leadership that we also want to be aggressive with really heightens the amount of move you want to put on him, so that he can be in position and he can be attacking the units that are, like, really in the way. Or getting to the units that, like, we really need to cover with the leadership beforehand. So I want to attack here because this leaves the opening for Rain to come out and destroy this unit to give her level. That's not wholly safe yet, but we're going to try and see if we can make it safe by killing everything else in the meantime. Why can't that support onto the Getter? Does the Getter just doesn't have enough range yet? Yeah, we need to be M2 for that. I wonder if the Getter 1 has a 4-ranged attack in complete box 2 or 3. Why I keep, like, how many times now have I moved next to the Getter going, oh, we can get a support attack off of this, obviously at 4 range. And that is just not the case. Funseki's not doing anything else relevant, so let's get the God Gundam fully godly. The Master Gundam is stuck behind this, like, wall of, not debris, asteroids, but we can, that could be amended for next turn. So what are we looking at? I think I'm willing to put Rain out here if we move the Rock Hyloom next to her, which we're probably going to want to for the accuracy anyway. So she has support defenses, and then also the Getter for some more support. We can even move the Carrot out to heal her then back. Okay, cool. So where was she going? At the diagonal bottom left. So putting the Rock Hyloom here gives her the most hit and avoid off of it, but so does here. Does that matter? No. A little more to the right seems preferable to me. And this is as close to accurate as we're going to get. Oh, we never gave her the bonus EXP with Carrot though. That's fine. It's still something. And the Show has 2 support defense. Go has 1 support defense, and Guy has 2. I mean, I guess technically the 3 is more tanky. We could have switched to the 2 to get an attack off there, but I'm not worried about it. Honestly, that's fine. We can do damage on the counter, and then that'll be enough for Rain to get another kill. No one is hurt yet. I'm going to push the Carrot somewhat forward. I don't mind if it takes a hit or 2. It's got support defenses in range. Yeah, it's incredible that the Taugeese does not have 100% hit. But it only needs to hit once. I do still have the Haro on the Death Scythe, so that's why that range is so massive. We don't want Rain to take that damage. We have the Getter here to support Rain, not the other way around. I would rather just land the hit with the Rock Hyloom. It's not a ton of damage, but it's something. Yeah. We'll gladly do that. That's easy pickings next turn. Okay. The Nadeshiko does not have a shot yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, we're 1 away. My ability to estimate space is close, but not perfect yet. The combination of these 3, though, are really just ruining pretty much everything. I mean, Hero is definitely pulling his weight more than I was expecting he was going to, but not as catastrophic as the combo of Catra, Duo, and Zex. Okay. 3,000 money is not nothing. I'm missing my Dragon Gundam. I did opt to leave Sasaishi in the back, but we can have Duo take that. I guess pushing him forward also isn't bad. He does have pretty high mobility because of the Haro. Okay, where can Catra get up to? Oh, Catra can get close to. So we're going to put Duo out here and then move Catra afterwards. The extra, like, I don't want to give Duo too much credit for the extra range because, like, a Haro on pretty much any unit that cares about dodging is going to be absolutely wild. So, there is that. No, he's shown that he can kill those in one hit, so we're going to hit the Tetsujins, I think those are. I've said before, I can't keep track of these units. Yeah, the Tetsujins. I swear that was just a guess, though. And this is a Majin, then? It's gotta be, yeah. Again, that one, okay. That one wasn't a guess. That was by process of elimination. There are only 2 generics that are of this shape. Like the Denjins, the Dai Tetsujins, and the Dai Majins are either boss only, or if they do become generic, they're maybe only so at the very end, and we haven't gotten there yet, obviously. I'm going to be a little more aggressive with George's attacks, too. I do believe I gave him a solar panel. He was the one holding our... Was he? I think he had the Haro before. And now there is better targets for that. You want to go on the Majin. I think I'm also okay to spend some energy. Because we do the energy restore. Okay. If we can kill without spending the Getter, we can have Rain come in. And then finish here with a support from the Getter. Oh man, the Master Gundam is so out of position. It's a shame. The Combattler, I'm sure, can solve this problem for us. Okay. We can probably kill here and use the Getter as support and then switch to another Getter form. Let's just spend the big attack. We never really stay in Getter 3 that much, so I don't mind spending it. Is this worth... It's a little bit more of a spend to use the Combattlers, but we do also have spirits. We also have Blessing from the Nadeshiko. Let's see what the other bosses that show up later are. Oh, the other bosses that show up later are also even worth less than this. So we're gonna use a Fortune. I'm not gonna use anything energy costly here because I think that was Daisetsu-san Orochi. Daisetsu-san Orochi will finish it. I think that's what the attack was. No. Missile Bomb. Never mind. Okay. I'm used to the Daisetsu-san Orochi. I think it's what it's called. It's definitely Orochi, like the snake god, or like also where Orochimaru gets his name. Being the best attack for Getter 3. I can never tell whether my like weeb is showing too much or too little. I'm like trying to make points of references for people, but like I don't know how familiar anyone's gonna be. I'm guessing if you're deep enough that you're watching someone play these games, then probably you probably don't need me telling you much, but who's to say? Just try to do my best. That's definitely a kill. Have some XP this time. Though I also just, like, take nomenclature and, like, word origin as a thing that you just do naturally. And that might not be the case. So... maybe you wouldn't necessarily know. You might clock and you might be like, oh, that sounds the same, but it might be just... that might be coincidence, who knows? Okay, we're close to getting a dedication. Right, that was 2 levels since we last said something. Yeah, we need 2, and we need 2 more. We said 4. Is anybody injured? People are slightly injured now. We can... Stupendous. Ooh, and that's an easy kill for the getter, again, with a fortune on. The later bosses that show up are only worth 2,000. Well, 6 of the bosses that show up are only worth 2,000, so I'd rather spend it on these 3,000 ones. It's not gone yet. Oh. That would be a shame if he didn't come forward. We also probably should have used that on Megumi instead. Yeah, we can spend that. Who is this going to? The God Gundam or the Nadeshiko? I think we'd rather just take it on the Combattler. Odds are he's gonna get the one, yeah. Definitely the 100 hit here, thank you. And he can take the hit too. Or not, that's true, that's fine. Let's see what turn they move. This is turn 4. The Frosts start moving again at turn 4. Okay. So if we can clear all of these with our back units, I don't think we're going to because there's some bosses in here, but we can like roughly take care of these 3 bosses next turn. We're gonna want to be up here anyway. The rest of the enemies are gonna show up around this base. So. I guess here we can take a look at what we're fighting. Not well, though. He's been hit already. This is Genichiro. He is also recruitable later. If we went on the Nadeshiko path to start, we would have seen him as a playable character then, too. He's in a Daimajin, which I believe is the most defensive of the Nadeshiko bigger units. Definitely has some, he's very energy efficient. He's got a mega chip, so everything costs 20% less and has the energy restore. If we can stop him from getting to Bosun jump, that would be ideal. I think we can probably do that pretty easily. Actually, the Combattler is kind of put in the back, so we can have the Combattler come forward and just one-shot him. What's the getter looking like for energy? Oh, it's almost max. Easy. We don't even need to spend a Valor on this. We can... There's a Fortune. There's an Excel. We need a gain from somebody. So we can stand here, and we can use our best attack, and... we could use the Stoner Sunshine. Maybe we will hit it once. What's the Master Gundam doing? Yeah, this will pass some damage over onto him. Oh, that was practically nothing, though. Why did I bring the Master Gundam with? What could Hero do? Oh, the map attacks. It's just a map attacks. You are going to charge this turn, because regardless of what you're hitting, you are out of position. There's at least a Valor bonus. I do think I'm more pro going farther away. Let's go for this Tetsujin. Okay, I feel comfortably locked in there. You know what? The Daitarn can be the one to weaken us a little bit more. We're not using him meaningfully. And then this Tetsujin can die to something else. How about a Nadeshiko cannon? Ooh, we actually still have... We have another support defense from Genichiro. You know, this should be fine. And then if this misses, the Combattler can also still send damage up. Okay. That seems like a perfect target for Rain now. And then get a support off of Katra. Do we want Domo to take this or Hero to take this Actually, it's probably gonna need both. That's a boss. That's Sabarauta. He's also the character that shows up in the very first stage. He's in Ice Davalis in the whatever the name of the prince. It's Prince something, the movie for Nadeshiko. It's again for the future. So it's just a matter of getting him down. We could have the Rock Hyloom attack to try and break the support. And we'll have the Carrot support attack just to weaken it a little bit more to make it easier for Rain to get this down. To practically nothing. Okay. That's fine. She is still in a main character Gundam, so it surely will do well. I guess it matters a little bit more what her stats are, but we're gonna use the more damaging attack, thanks, just to be safe. I don't trust the distortion field, but no reason I shouldn't have. We should have blessing from the Nadeshiko onto the Shining Gundam to give us an extra 3k, but that's fine. Switch you into Getter 2. I guess let's make sure these don't retreat before I do something silly. I'm seeing no retreats so far. Yeah. I think we are largely at the point of the game where enemies are not going to retreat. We're getting to the point where this is going to have to be close to the last fight for them anyway. The Frost Brothers will prove that to not be true, but other than them... Yeah, there we go. Okay, switch you back to the 1. Now the Combattler can come up here. And... we should bullseye. We can bullseye here. Does he have potential? Oh yeah, he has a level 8 potential. No wonder. Like, I'm pretty sure our hit was... I felt like we only needed to focus to land that hit before, but his health has changed somewhat considerably since last we looked. We have all of the buffs. If we do play this game again, I gotta skip out from all of the super robots I really depend on. Maybe we'll take one. Maybe we'll try to treat the Dendo as a super robot and let that be the one we're using. Okay. Let's. Oh, actually, hold on. We can multiply damage. Do we need to? We probably don't need to. The Voltase and the God Gundam can probably finish up the Daitetsu Shin. So never mind. We're just gonna do this, and we get a support attack off of the Death Scythe, and we'll risk the 20. Oh, he's a lot weaker than I remember. Right, because the Tetsujin, or the Denjin? What is this? Yeah, the Denjins are also not the most advanced ones, right? Like, you don't hear the word Dai in front of it. It's not a Dai Denjin. I do think these are the most damaging of the unit options, I think. So that's something. Or here we can go 1, 2, 3. So the Voltase could clean up here. I actually don't mind that. Yeah, let's do that. I think we might get that last boss at the top left corner too. We'll take a look at him in a minute. I guess we also didn't really look at the stats much for this boss. Yeah, definitely slightly less defensive. Still the same suite of abilities here. Higher chance to crit. I wish that felt like that mattered more. He just has support attack and support defense. He just got the 2 supports. That should be lethal. Did I waste a Valor on this? I did not, but I did not use a game. And I see no reason not to. Yeah, he is 1 level higher than us, so that actually does matter. Now we have potential for all that dodging that super robot is going to do. Actually, that said, maybe I should increase their mobility a little bit more just to actually take advantage of the potential that they have. We're not going to waste any energy on this attack because there's so many other units that can follow, that could follow up on this. Sweet. This is the Dai Tetsujin. 1600 armor. Maybe I was wrong. This might be our most defensive. Our most defensive of Nadeshiko enemies. Still the same suite of abilities. This is a Mega Generator, so that's 100. It's a Mega Generator, so that's 100 free energy. Leadership, and then the support suite. Maybe, oh yeah, maybe what it is the Majin is the strongest, is the most damaging out of the base models, but because it doesn't have a die in front of it, like it's looking worse by comparison to the rest of the dies. That doesn't change the fact that I was wrong about the Majin, the Dai Majin being the more defensive. 28's not great. Catra is not moved yet though, so we can get Catra in here for the accuracy support. Or for the leadership. He can buff people's hit and evade with leadership. And if he takes a hit, that's fine. We still have a healer left. Cool. And then have George first. And then these two can finish up. I would like to end on Duo, just so he can use another fortune. Actually, hold on. Who has better supports with Duo? Those are weak and considerably stronger. So we can have Zex move up here. I wanted to make sure we weren't moving Zex away from Duo if he gave a better Vanguard, Valor, Rivalry. I knew there was a V and Rust sound. I just had it in the wrong order. I do think this might require some bonus damage. I think that's fine. Well, we can spend it with Valor. We've got plenty of SP to spare. The latter half of the scenario is definitely, maybe we didn't need it. The latter half of the scenario is definitely more where we need to be spending things. So I'm trying to save a little bit for that. This should be lethal, so let's give him an XP buff. Do we want to use a Valor just to be safe? Is that how you're supposed to be playing these games? I feel like it's how you're supposed to be playing these games, is they wanted to kind of be like on vibes. We can also move one. We can move one to the right to get closer to the bosses for future. Nah, it was fine. We didn't need to. 3 levels in one go. I guess this is like also why levels don't matter. Is it's so easy to recover levels. You know what? Hold on. Seeing as we haven't really spent much of anything, we can use Wall and we can use Excel and just get right in their faces, and they seem to like going for the super robots, so why not? Let's use a Bullseye too. Right, these supports were different last time because one of them was flying and one of them was on the ground. Here, this is fine. We won't waste energy on it, but we will start getting this down. Just utterly pitiful damage. Okay, who is hurt? Actually, a lot more units than I was expecting. That is what happens too when we only have I have cut a lot of our healing our healing units. Bummer. They did target the farther away ones. Wasn't sure. There was a lot of SP to spend, but that's fine. I know I just said that I was supposed to be spending less, but it felt like a somewhat aggressive play. And I think we spent 5, 20, and 30. So we spent 55. That is like only slightly more than a Valor. No, you know what? That's fine. We can do that. We're gonna need to break those at some point, so there's no reason to not start. And it's not like the Voltace is gonna have any better actions in the future turns. Because this is going to be support defended, we're not gonna waste the energy. Oh, actually, I should have checked who has fewer. I believe Shagia has fewer support defenses. Yeah, he only has 2, as opposed to Olba, who has 4. So we want to be attacking Olba at first if we can. We can use an Excel here. We can go to the right or to the top of the Voltace, and that will be... Yeah. 20 energy is pretty nothing to this. We need a Bullseye again. You'd think with how often I use these units, I would remember that, like, which pilots were the ones that had Bullseye, or that they weren't other places, but... Low, I do not. Yeah, they're easily down this turn. Man, the Master Gundam has been such a disappointment. I definitely put him on Fune Psyche when I first got him, which is, like, I think why I probably also remember him a little bit more fondly. We have an Excel left. I don't think we need that, though. Okay. So, I like the idea of Domon coming in here and getting a support attack off of the Getter. How much energy are we working with? Okay, we're basically full on energy. So we can spend some, right? He has a solar panel. So he's getting 46, he's getting 51 back a turn. And they've not really chosen to attack him, and even if they do, it's usually in a way where he can't counterattack. So we're gonna focus. I guess Catra needs to move first to give some more accuracy to this area, which is a shame. We're gonna lose a support attack off of it. I guess we could move up here, and that gives us the corner. It's a little bit less accuracy, but it's something. Let's see how much we need for a full hit. I can also... That's kind of preferable. It is somewhat less damage, but I don't think damage is going to be our problem this turn. The trouble is that Catra himself is not getting any of the buffs. So what? This is 90 plus 45 is 135. So we can use a focus. Yeah, that's fine. He can't kill us. There is definitely something to be said about using Lance for a war now that we have him too, because he does offer a sizable amount of leadership. I am willing to bullseye the Getter because it's going to need that. It's going to be making a number of support attacks, I'm hoping. And why not now? This is only 80. I would much rather get the hit. And this isn't going for the kill, so no need to waste the energy. It's that screen I need to leave from. I can never leave the support screen correctly either. Okay, what is he looking like? 7,000. That to me is looking like a dead robot. We can fortune again. Let's see. I'm curious how good of a hit. We still don't have max hit even with a Haro on. That's wild. Absolutely bonkers. Okay, we will focus. We need to switch you into, how about Getter 3? That's 3,200. That is 3,900, so Getter 2 it is. I guess those aren't the only stats to worry about. I'm a little worried that this won't kill. Maybe we should chip a little more first. And have George weaken him. Or maybe. What did we just say? It's 135. We can spend a focus. Yeah, let's try this. Okay. Now that feels pretty comfortable for Duo to take that without needing to yeah. Without needing to worry about whether or not it'll be lethal or not. I guess this is a boss kill, so we can show this one off. The other ones were too, but they're only kind of bosses. We were so in the good, we didn't need to worry about it. I am not taking into account how much morale we have by comparison to what they're starting at. So let's have, oh boy, do we have a bullseye on Sex? We do not have a bullseye on Sex. What are you looking like if we get close? 50 to hit? Okay, we can focus that. We don't need to flash, that's fine. And then the Getter can finish this one too. We've not used the calculator in a bit. I'll pull out the calculator and see if we can kill with without needing to use a Valor. Okay. I have that open on this screen. You can see the calculator here. So we need to enter 140 morale. We can take a look at his stat screen. I'll keep it up there for a second, and then we'll switch over. I don't know how to do this. I can't, I don't have, a good, double screen view of this. But I at least want his numbers up, so in case something goes wonky, I can look back at it later. We won't have his armor up, but I can search that easier. 1,300 armor. He has an A in space, and we are on a neutral tile at present. How about the Getter? Let's go back to the Getter. We are at 148 morale. 148. We have 207. And we are going to be attacking with a 4,900 power. So we are projected to do 4,632 damage. We, in fact, need to Valor that. Okay. So that's fine. Right? So we should be doing 9264. We are going to be doing a little bit less than that because of potential's damage reduction, but it doesn't reduce it by 1,500 points or however much. We are going to move away from everyone. I think we can just block if we need to, but taking that base seems good to me. We're also neutral level, right? We're 51, he's 51. Yeah. So gain is also irrelevant. We'll probably get 2 levels out of this too. But we do want to take over that base. It's small, but that does mean while fewer of our units get supported, get the benefits from it, it's also easier to keep enemies off of it. And goodness gracious, if we let the bosses that are going to show up onto any terrain tile like that, we're going to have a rough time. They're already super dodgy. I did a lot more damage than I was expecting. Did maybe we crit? That's fine. Yeah, 2 levels. I know these units have arrived on the bottom, but we need a cutscene. We have our new excellence now. Tis is going to try and keep us from having access to it, but that won't matter. We get a cutscene kill. I do really love this is Excellence Eternal, and if you play as Rao, you get the Excellence Lightning, because everything has to be gendered. But that said, they are literally the same unit, which actually, sorry, not with that said, even more so, it is pretty lame that we need to gender the units if they're going to be performed exactly the same. So given that, it is also a bit of a bummer. Like, I do feel like Fiona does kind of get the short end of the stick here. Because, okay, we'll look at the bosses later, but let's look at our new unit first. Fiona does get the short end of the stick here because her best attack is melee and her best stat is range. That feels real bad. These feel really scaled towards Raoul instead. Like we have some really silly options. Like even the laser beams that the Massinger shoots are melee. Why couldn't we just give her her range stat for this attack? It's dumb. I guess because it is one range, but like, I don't know, just switch these 2 attacks and like make this the more damaging one. I say about a game that has like existed for years now, not like it's changing. Just makes me sad. But it is pretty good. So we don't have any parts on us because of how we changed, right? Oh no, we didn't get to keep our parts. We get to keep our parts. Okay. But we don't get like full advantage. We don't get to see like it fully in action compared to some of the other units just because we don't have as many upgrades into it. Our range is insane. Its range is already normally very silly, but it's even more silly now. It does show up late, and she, for whatever reason, doesn't gain morale. I feel like a lot of times this kind of situation would give the pilot morale, so that you could use all the attacks. But if we had gotten enough kills, having her at the plus 10 morale would have let us use our second best attack immediately. But this is still not bad. We can have hero charge, and we can get a support off of this. I forgot to turn that. It's okay. We can see the Eternal do some more stuff. Maybe shame on me for having the first time the Eternal takes an action not be its own action, but what can I say? Both pilots, irrespective to their gender, do get a lot of support, so that is like a really important part of their playstyle. I think that's just generally true about the pilots. Like the MC for whichever of the pilots I'm using in D also has 3 support attacks. And I recall getting a lot of supports off of the main character in GC, too. I think we are going to stay put, though. I don't want to, like, fully jump into the enemies quite yet. So we're just going to weaken things up as they're coming in. How about this one? Sure. Who needs the care out the most? Well, I think we'll just pop this here and heal the Master Gundam, I guess. He'll actually have a job now that we're on this side. So we have more of the combination of Majin, Tetsujin, Denjin, Tetsujin, Majin. Even though we looked at them already, I still couldn't get it right at first glance. They're generics this time, though. There's no bosses in any of these. And we have that same formation on this other side. But our real bosses come in the form of Hokushin and his Hokushin 6. In the movie, they are like unique individuals, but they are just given the same portrait and the same stats, which I think is fine. They are outfitted with the suite of all 3 of the basic consumable parts, but they are really dodgy. We will see that next turn. I did kind of want to jam together in the middle here, though, so pretty much everyone has a unit in range so that they're not going to be moving. I believe that Oh, no, okay, right. They move one turn after they've arrived. So they weren't going to move anyway, but that's fine. We still wanted to take this area. But Hokushin is one of the more annoying of bosses. He's real dodgy, and we'll take a look at his abilities next turn. And he also has Boson Jump, but I believe he has it on to start. And he also has, remember we talked about that sorry, hold on. Let's get into the Combattler. Then, well, okay. Remember we talked about that boss personality? He also gains morale at a really rapid rate, so it's really hard to keep him off of Boson Jump. You need to bullseye him or smite and try to 1 or 2 shot him is the best option. I think we'll just give this to the Daitarn. I suspect the Daitarn is probably just going to sort of go away. It might end up going in one of the battleships. And then we'll let now that the Voltes is encountering, we can let it block, and that's some nothing of hits. Does the Master Gundam get to do something? Incredible. Who would have seen the day? Okay, that is weak enough that something like that maybe the Carrot could take out to get the money out of it. Who is this going to? No, wasn't that to the Rockeye Loom? Bright doesn't have access to his full heal now. He doesn't have, is it willpower? I think it's what it's called, which is why I stopped calling morale willpower. We also should have blocked there, not dodged. I don't know what I was doing. But Bright doesn't have his full heal now, so we need to be a little more careful with him. I'm playing a little fast and loose because I'm used to him being able to full heal, but we'll clean up this right side, and then he'll be pretty well out of danger. Yeah, we're just gonna block. Oh yeah, we still have Bullseye on, which is why we have 100 hit here, so I'm not gonna waste that. I don't care about the energy spent, I don't care about the HP damage. We want to get these Merzas down pretty well as fast as possible. We're on a tile that gives 10%, the Getter has 10%. I think I did outfit it with a propellant tank, just because the propellant tank still ends up being the most energy efficient part possible. Unless we're going to be here for, I think it's still 20 turns. And then, even then, it's only slightly not energy efficient. Okay, so we definitely want to try and clear these two. I think let's start there and see if we can give everyone else some more morale. Though maybe we don't start there, so Hokushin can't gain as much. Maybe we just go for Hokushin immediately. None of his attacks are that scary. It is just a combination of being unable to hit him, and he does have counter, so he can potentially kill us, right? Like we can go in for a lethal attack, but he can stop that and destroy our unit first. But yeah, the really scary part is, I mean, we've seen it with all these enemies, but the Boson Jump, it's still grayed out, so we don't have to worry about it yet. But we want to kill him before that gets active. So maybe let's take him out before we clear out the rest of these enemies. So how do we want to do that? We can have the Getter get nice and close. We can probably, you know what? This is probably also lethal. Also, here, look. I guess these are more defensive enemies, so I can't make the good comparison. Yeah, they have 80 mobility and 92 mobility. The Merzas only have 99, which is not that much. They are, I believe, the only other super small unit in the game. The other one being the Valkyrie, and the Valkyrie is the only playable super small unit. But it's really their stats that are doing a lot of that work. Their abilities aren't doing anything. There's not like a new type equivalent for the Nadeshiko pilots. Oh right, but Zex also doesn't have a bullseye, so that's not actually going to cut it. We do want someone with bullseye to attack the Iatenko. This is mostly accurate. That goes up to 86. If we got the Rock Hyloom up there, that would work, but that's a turn away. How about... Now, Hero probably isn't cunning. I think we're just going to throw the Getter at it again. Let's stop pretending. It works. It keeps working. Why change it? Bullseye. And Valor. And how much is he worth? He's worth 5,000. But yeah, these are the bosses I was talking about. They're only worth 2,000, so they're probably not where our funds are going to be going. The Getter's at 53. He's at 52, so that gain is still worth our investment. And I think I do want to be close to him so we can get the best attack off, which does mean we're giving up the terrain, but I'm going to opt to be here, because I think we can finish off the right side more easily than the... Is that true? No, I think we can finish off the top more easily than the right, so we're going to go on the right, and that will theoretically be maybe safer. This is going to be very satisfying if this kills in one hit. I have lost many a unit to a misplaced response to the Atenko. Though that is more relevant in the early game. This boss also is the primary boss when we're in the future scenario. Which is wild because of how powerful he is compared to, say, like, most of the Gundam ones. Like, Char is also kind of spooky, but not, I don't think he's nearly so. Like, he doesn't have a full guaranteed dodge. The stats are buffed a little bit because of being at a higher point in the game, right? But not so much that it's not just sort of part of the unit to begin with. Actually, we can save this. We can give this to Rain. I guess make sure it kills that way. That's probably unnecessary. Especially if we're getting a support from the main character. Though we do want to do this without getting a support, so we don't have to worry about the counterattack. I guess we'll use just the Shining Finger rather than the Shining Finger Sword. This is a Tetsujin, so that's worth the money to us. We should also check and see what George can do in terms of getting multiple of these down at once. Right, we also want to cheer her on from the Carrot. That kind of sounds like they're just like rolling down the window in the middle of space and like giving her a little like pep talk or like clap. Because it's the GBA, they just like don't have it animated, it just sort of pops into place. It's very funny. That's level 50. Okay, she has a spare dedication now, and that also bumped Master Asia up to super mode. So we can start with him, and then have Hero support attack. This is probably one of the last actions he's taking, so I don't mind Valoring. I guess if we got to this point, okay, we've not seen the Master Enemy yet. Let's at least look at the animation once. And if we got to this point, we did have a spirit available, the spirit available to us. If we needed to get into a hyper mode. Oh, we didn't fund that one. Oh well, that's fine. Ooh, that is actually a really juicy target for Rose's Scream. That is quite excellent. It's just a matter of whether we hit the Mirza or not, but that's fine. We can risk that. Like I said, we were going to clear that top section more. I think having Hero go to the right is probably better, because nothing else, there's very little else that's going to be doing anything to that side. We can spend a soul. We're basically at the end of the scenario. I forgot to turn the animations off. And we're getting a support attack off with the main character because her range is just so absurd. She does have a linear seat on, so she's getting +1 to her range. I believe she's getting +1 to her range, but I believe she's only getting +1 to her range. I also did not expect that to kill. I figured the distortion field was going to reduce that a little bit more. Maybe it will this. Yeah, okay. Karat kill? Probably not. We probably need him to kill something. So I think we can give that to the main character. I'm fine giving that to Fiona. Give her a cheer too. You shot those eye lasers really great. That was a great Dio cosplay you just did there. Okay, that clears that up. We maybe could have used her a little bit better if we'd moved her forward, but I think that's fine. Okay. I said that was going to be the last action from the Daitarn 3, but that's not going to be the case. Because we can have the Daitarn set this Tetsujin for a kill. But we'll take the weaker support attack. We want to make sure we're getting there, and he is pretty low. He's on the lower side right now, so. And if we kill, we kill. I'm also, like, kind of disrespecting the amount of damage that George can do, especially if we put a Valor on him. But the distortion field really does reduce a lot of damage. I believe it takes 1/3 of the damage away. If it activates, though. But, like, with the hero situation, he did break it. That's what I said before about breaking it. So I should figure out what that threshold is. So I think no matter what, we're doing a combination of these three. So let's just do that now. We know what we're planning towards. And then I will put Bright over here too, for the sake of even extra mobility. It's not going to matter for anything other than these Murzas. So this is with a +20 hit, and we only have 93 hit. So this is going to be there's a quarter chance we're missing with Rose's Scream, but that's fine. So we just need to weaken these two now, and that seems very doable given who's over here. We can maybe even save 2 of these Murzas, or these 2 Murzas for the Combattler and the Voltace. I think if we support attack correctly, we can probably... we probably only need to use 1 unit to make both of these weak. I think Catra is our weakest link left. Or of the units remaining, I think Catra is our weakest, so let's use him to start. Only 15 damage. There we go. That's better. Hopefully Dua doesn't just kill. So those are its arms, right? Like, are those on wires? Like, we just blew up his arms. That attack should be gone. Which, in theory, sounds really fun, but in practice, in GC, it's actually just really boring. Oh, good gracious. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. We're wasting some money here. That's okay. So I think we're just going to have Hero up here. And then do no way to modify that, and that should still probably put it in range. Maybe not. That's fine. Oh, 6,000 that feels just not quite enough. Okay, what are we looking at here for hit? Okay, so we can focus, and then if the Murzas attack him, he'll be prepared to counter that really well. All right, and now I think everyone's in position for the Scream. I guess Karat can also cheer him on. This will potentially be a lot of XP. We probably could stand to put some more damage in George too now. Oh, that's a shame. Just shy. Okay. I mean, it still worked out. It was still. I guess that was pretty neutral though. That was we ended up spending what would have been 2 blessings to take out 2 enemies. But oh well. I know I said the carrot maybe wasn't going to get a kill, but that's really tempting for the carrot to actually get a fortune. So let's go for it. And everybody else is healthy enough that I'm sure it'll be fine. Valor just to make sure they do such pitiful damage unupgraded. Maybe that's this might be the real test of the solo, is once we get to Carrot, just start the game from there. And see if Carrot can solo the game. I don't know if he could. I'm just always tempted, especially whenever there's multiple pilots, like the promise of extra SP is really tantalizing. I think this is 3 Murzas we can confirm dead. It's just a matter of how we want to do it. Let's see what Domon has here first. So we need a focus. Actually, hold on. Zex has leadership. Oh, I thought Miliardo had leadership. No. Oh, it's block. I think I must have completed it with blocking. Very early on in this process, I definitely replaced a lot of... I switched blocking and leadership a lot. I think this is our best chance to hit, and seeing as we are pretty good on SP, we can also Valor this. Oh, you know what? Hold on, we're gonna love this instead. Which wastes the focus a little bit, but that's whatever. Despite the fact that we don't care about how much money they're giving us, it's still something. So given that we're also doubling damage, we may as well take out one of the highest HP ones. Yeah. Cool. The Nadeshiko can't get over here in any reasonable sense of the word, so we will just leave these last 2 for our usual suspects. We're already here. We'll give him the cheer too. We need a bullseye. And we probably don't need a Valor for that. Nah, that's a way overkill. Yeah. And then the same here. Ooh, actually, we're not done yet. You get back up. Can we clear this turn? Let's find out. That needs a bullseye. If I remember that we had an awaken, we probably could have cleared this turn. Alright, what else we got? We're out of both awaken and zeal. We definitely could have cleared because the getter still had 1 more left in him. That's fine. We'll end on enemy phase. We still have bullseye on, right? We do still have bullseye on. We have how many blessings left? We have 1 blessing left. Okay. So we just won't care what happens to the other Murza. And then we will Valor that, because I think that needs to be Valored in order for that to kill. And we do not have a cheer on yet, or a gain on yet. I guess what we could do if we really wanted to is we could then go and cheer like everybody else that's left that's around where the Murza is to potentially get more XP from it, but there's no reason to. And there we have it. That one felt faster, but it really is 9:20. Good lord. That took like an hour and 10 minutes. I guess that is a testament to at least the game being fun to play, is that I, like, constantly cannot tell what time it is. Well, stellar. I think that officially takes us into the end game now that we have access to our best excellence. Our most excellent of excellence. Now that we have the Eternal, there is no reason to ever switch into any of the other ones. This takes the best values pretty much of all the other units. So we never really need to do anything else. In terms of switching her units around. I'll probably end up giving her some of this money. I do want to use her a little bit more to end the game. But I'll figure that out. I'll figure that out in intermission. Next scenario, we have a die turn scenario. I believe this is the last die turn scenario. We are going to see all of the die turn bosses. I think the next scenario is both very well and very poorly conceived. There's just like about 15 rows of the map that you could just like scoop right out, and then the scenario would be great. That would offer a lot more pressure. But there's so much dead time in the middle where we're just going to be moving our units towards the bottom left corner of the map. We might try a bad strategy. I don't know if this is going to work. Actually, no, hold on. Not might. We will commit to this because if it does go badly, I've been told that is good for viewership because watching people fail is a thing people like doing. So we're going to try a different strat next time. I will explain it then, but we like at least have like a deliberate strat I can talk about rather than just like, I don't know, throw the big unit at it. I'm sure it'll be fine. So look forward to that one. We will finally see all of the die turn bosses in this game. And that's like starting to put us to wrap it up a lot of our scenarios. We're getting close. I'm very excited. I think that'll about do it. I need to go and start editing the very first video of this series to get this up for YouTube tomorrow. So I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you for watching both this and this episode of this entire series. I appreciate anyone who's been sticking around this long. I'm glad I offer some amount of entertainment that I can afford some niche into this very large franchise. As always, I'll be down in the comments if anyone has any questions or wants to talk about anything regarding Super Robot Wars. I just can't get enough. I'm happy to both speculate and to reflect. But I think without anything else, I will bid you all farewell. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.